Hello, and welcome to Life of a Boss, the podcast, hosted by entrepreneur, public speaker, and mentor, Jason Hardin. This podcast is all about helping audiences create and reach their own definition of success through positive thinking, perseverance, and personal development. Having survived extreme obstacles from an early age, such as cancer, poverty, abuse, family dysfunction, and even homelessness, Jason has learned how to master the art of resilience and defy all odds to become the boss he is today. So, get ready for some serious game and remember to keep an open mind. Now, without further delay, here is your host, Jason Hardin.
Hello and thank you. I am very excited to be here for another wonderful episode of Life of a Boss, the podcast. The podcast all about personal development and helping you create and live your own definition of success. Anyway, like I said, we have a great episode today. We are interviewing somebody that's very dear to me that I've known for quite a while, and it's been actually amazing watching her develop into the person and entrepreneur and artist that she is. She has opened for Eric Billinger, John B., Wu-Tang, Mos Def. She's been on I Can See Your Voice. She's also Pasadena Idol winner and my personal friend. And I appreciate her, and I hope that, matter of fact, I know that she's going to be spitting game that some of you are going to definitely not want to miss. So without further ado, please welcome Tiffany Jackson on the show. Miss Tiffany.
Yes, hello.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm feeling good, looking good. How about yourself?
Man, I am wonderful, and I'm excited. And I'm more excited that you're on the show here with me because, like I said, man, there's so much about you that I want to tap into. And there's so much that you do that I think the audience would love to learn. So I hope you're ready because I'm going to try to pack as much as I can into this 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about it. This is a great platform. I appreciate you for having me, and I'm ready to talk.
Well, wonderful. And like I said before the show, you are on here because I see a boss. You know what I'm saying? The way you move, the way you get down, the way you live and have created your own definition of success. And I think that's very important because, like I said, that's what I want to help our audience do. I want to help people pursue their dreams and their passions. And that's what I've seen in you. You've been a recording artist and you've been singing for a long time. How long have you been singing?
Well, shoot, I discovered I had a voice when I was 8, thanks to Mike Towns and his Hip Hop for Kids album, and recorded in his studio closet. And then when I was 9 years old, that was the first time I sang publicly at like a school talent show. And ever since, I just ran with it.
That's actually a very humble beginning. What's funny is that I remember when you were younger, somebody posing as your manager. I don't know if it was your manager or not, but back when I had a magazine called the Dina Magazine, somebody posing as your manager was trying to pitch you to me because they and that just let me. I don't remember. You must have been like 14 at the time. You know what I'm saying? You were still young, but I don't know who it was. Your uncle, your grandfather, whoever it was, but it was like, yeah, man, I got this girl Tiffany Jackson, she's my niece, something they said you were, but they were just so adamant about getting you on. I mean, it was just, I remember that conversation. This is way before I knew you, way before I knew your family, way before I knew you were related to some folks that I know, so it was way before that, and I was like, I was intrigued, but it wasn't until a few years later where I actually met you. So that means, that you've been on the radar for a while. Your voice has been a force to be reckoned with for a while. And
that's so crazy.
Yeah, and it is. And I think I've told you that story before, but still to this day, you never told me who it was. You said you don't even know who it was.
I don't even know who it is. I don't.
Man, this business is janky, I tell you. But I say that to say this is that you've been on the radar for a while, and you've actually done your thing very strong. And there are a lot of, I know a lot of people listening, especially those who are really chasing their own definitions of success. A lot of them are artists. A lot of them are producers. A lot of them are interested in the music business. And as you and I both know, the music business has changed so much over the years. So much, and changed so much since I've heard of your name that first time when that manager called me about it. So I'm curious to know, how have you been able to navigate the music industry and still find your success within it and still find your niche within it with all these changes going on?
You know, honestly, I have to be. It hasn't been easy.
Mm-hmm.
It really hasn't. There's some times where there's challenges and setbacks, and you always, doubt yourself when you focus on the outcome instead of just the output. And that's kind of what I've just been focusing on, is literally honing in on my craft and what I want to do, and not what everyone else suggests for me to do. When I was younger, I felt like I was very impressionable, and I didn't necessarily know much about the music business. So when I became a part of a collective, at the time, he taught me almost everything that I knew about the music business, and actually starting to record and everything like that. So it was all still brand new to me. It's still new to me, because every year is something different, something new.
Yeah.
And I've never really been too keen to trends. Like, I never really cared for it. I wasn't here for the fad. I was here to try to have longevity. And, I feel like quick success builds ego, but slow success actually builds longevity. So that's what I'm here for, and I really couldn't have done it with everybody who has, without everybody who has supported me this far, as far as like my family, those who had resources that wanted to help me out, everybody that I met along the way. And it was only God-given, because all of the relationships that I've made, whether it's musical, friendship, or, like mentor, it's been fruitful. Like, actually sitting here now and looking back at every little connect that has happened throughout my life, it was, some of it was planned, but the part, it was just like divine intervention for me. And I can't thank God enough for that.
Well, you know what? That's incredible. And I think what's more incredible is that, you're thanking a lot of people. And I know that well, first of all, I know some of your story, and I know some of your journey. So I know you passed through, some learning experiences, and you worked with a few people. But one thing that I can also say is that it looks like you handle a lot of your own business too. Now, that might just be from the outside looking in. And I wanted to ask you, are you just a recording artist, or are you also a manager, an agent? You know what I'm saying? Your stylist, your image consultant, your media, your social media manager. and I wanted to ask that because I wanted to kind of convey to the audience how important some of those other roles are, and whether or not you have to do them yourself or not, or how does it work for you?
Yeah, it's it's stressful. It definitely wear many hats, especially when you're trying to be your own artist and you don't really have like a label backing you, Now, when I was I think I was 16 until I was 21, I was a part of a collective, and my mentor, Kay, at the time, he was the one that was like, getting me shows. So me opening up for Eric Bellinger and for John B and Wu-Tang Clan, that all had to do with him and his connect, because he was an MC. So anywhere that he performed, he wanted to bring me on. And so I definitely got a taste of that life and how the business side works in that aspect. He also taught me, like, be careful about what you put on social media and, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, stuff like that. Like, he used to tell me to not stick my tongue out in pictures, and I'm just like, but that's me, it's my personality, But it definitely, there was a caveat to that, too, because I started feeling like I was grooming myself for the world instead of myself. Like, I was trying to satisfy other people in order for them to realize that I was the whole package. Hey, you need to, look out for me, type of thing. And I spent like the last couple of years of my life really kind of like deprogramming myself from trying to be a people pleaser. But, like as far as getting myself in shows or even doing the Fox TV show, like, I wasn't the one that was trying to look on to be on a TV show. My friend, she's like does like casting calls and stuff like that for music videos, and anytime she sees like some singing show, she's like sending me the link telling me to apply, and I'm like, it looks like a competition show. I did a whole bunch of competitions when I was younger. I auditioned for X Factor, I auditioned for The Voice, America's Got Talent. I did all of that when I was like 18 and younger.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to do competitions, and my mom would always tell me, like, you're too good to do competitions. Like, these things aren't for you, they're for ratings. And actually seeing for myself that they are for ratings. They're not about just pure talent, and I didn't want to go that route. So when she sent me the link for I Can See Your Voice, I was like, this doesn't seem like a competition show. I felt bad for constantly telling her no at least 3 to 5 times. And I was like, the least I can do is apply to this one. And then things kind of just fell in place for that. But yeah, I mean, it's been challenging. It's been good. It has, as far as like my own agent and stuff, in time to be an artist anymore. And I wasn't recording, I wasn't writing any music. And then I had someone reach out to me who was like, I'll still produce, do like a small little EP. And then that fell through. He kind of like disappeared. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'm cool. I'm just chilling for now. I dedicated my life to God, and I was like, I don't want to go the same route that I was doing before, I mean, my songs were still kind of like PG-14 in a sense. I never cared to cuss, never cared to talk about sex. I wanted to just talk about love and positivity and perseverance and, just being humble, honestly, and not putting myself out there like a sex puppet. Pretty much, There's a whole bunch of people that already got that covered. I don't need to be one of them.
Exactly.
I'm trying to set my own lane.
Do you think that your experience, like thus far, has helped you basically survive as an independent artist because you were exposed to so many different things, and also because you were exposed to, what you didn't want to do and the type of artist you didn't want to be? Do you think those kind of negative experience and that those hardships kind of help shape the opportunity that you were able to create for yourself now?
Honestly, absolutely. And that goes far beyond just grooming me as an artist, but even as a person, just going out and realizing, like, I don't want to be like that, or I feel uncomfortable if I try to fit in over there. And just kind of honestly, like, for a while, it kind of made me feel like I was an outcast, like I didn't fit in anywhere, like I was disconnected from reality because I don't care what half of these people cared about. From when I was 14 years old, I knew I didn't care for clubs. And everybody's looking at me like, I don't like crowds. And they're like, but you're a performer. I said, yeah, but I'm outside of the crowd. It's different, but it's definitely helped me decide on, what I like and what I don't like as far as just me as a human being and, beyond being an artist. But as far as me pursuing a music career, it definitely helped my path be more clear on what I truly want to do and how I want to perceive, how myself perceived as. So it definitely helps.
How do you stick to your non-negotiables? How do you stick to those values that you say you have, or those lines that you say you're never going to cross? Because I know that for someone trying to make it in the industry, exposure, almost any kind of exposure is good, and sometimes these offers of, come sing with me or come be on my track or whatever, come be in this video, but wear this. or don't wear anything. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you circumvent or how do you basically, how are you comfortable? How do you say no to those opportunities that could maybe put an extra few dollars in your pocket or give you those extra views? How do you say no to those? Because, I mean, some people they have values too. And as soon as those things come up, they kind of weigh those values against what they ultimately want, and some of them think they want that fame or think they want that money. So sometimes those values get compromised. How do you not compromise your values? Because I can vouch for everything you said. You know, I haven't seen you in a Hoochie Mama video yet. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen you drop anything like it was hot. You know, and not that you can't. I don't want to take nothing from you. I don't know what you do in the shower when you with your girls and all that. I don't know how well you can drop it. But all I'm saying is that when you are performing and you're doing your art, that's what shows to me. You know what I'm saying? It almost like Alicia Keys. You know, I've never seen Alicia Keys drop it like it was hot. I don't even know if she can dance. You know, but one thing I know that I would pay damn near anything to see her live and do her thing. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have to be Sierra. You know what I'm saying? She damn sure don't have to be Nicki Minaj or all them. Not that I got anything against these artists who found their niche, but like I'm saying, it's kind of tough. So I kind of wonder how do you circumvent that?
Honestly, it's funny that you mentioned Alicia Keys because my response to your question was about to be the fact that I've been reading her autobiography called More Myself. And when she first dropped, I'm really trying to think of the album, but like it was her first album that she put out. And she had a photo shoot, and the guy who was the photographer had asked everybody else in the room to kind of like, you know, go away and just like let it be him and Alicia so she could be more comfortable. And as soon as he did that, he was like asking her to pretty much reveal more of herself, but in a very slick way. And she didn't even think twice about saying no. She was just like, I don't want this door to be closed type of thing. And then next thing you know, she's like almost half naked in a magazine, and her manager's upset about it, and she's like distraught because she's like, oh my gosh, the world is seeing me this way type of thing, like buying all your magazines from a newsstand because you don't want anybody to see it type of situation. And you know, I can honestly thank God that I have not been in a position like that, as far as like, you know, people asking for, you know, more nudity or just me not being myself in that sense. And it's a blessing because this industry is ran by men. You know, I'm usually the only female in the studio. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times where, you know, guys would want me to go to a studio and they'll, you know, try to be flirtatious and stuff like that. But I'm just like so hardcore when it comes to men. Like, I'm this sweet person, but when it comes to men, I don't play. Like,
I can imagine. And I'm saying that because your public image is clean. Like, you really have a clean public image. Like, and you know, because for someone who's out there and who's an artist and who promotes a lot of themselves and who's always kind of in that public eye, you know, you kind of like look for those clues. Are they in a relationship? Who are they with? And, you know, is that a good relationship? Are they happy? And you have never opened the curtain to your personal life in that way. I have never been able to look at any of your posts or anything, any of your promotions, or even go to an event and catch you in anything that isn't what you're trying to show. You know, and that's your talent.
I can also say that Beyonce has definitely been a role model for me in that aspect because she doesn't have much negativity talked about her in the tabloids. You know, she even though she is kind of like a sex symbol with, you know, certain clothes that she wears like that, but you really don't see her out there just being nude. I think the closest thing that I saw her being nude was when she had maternity photos, and she was still covered in leaves and flowers. She definitely set the standard for me when it comes to how I want to move in this industry. How
I
it's
love it.
literally just I'm here for the art, as well as her too. Like her coming out on the scene and wanting to be anonymous and not, still not dressing sleazy to this day,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
still covering up and just like saying like it's not about me, it's about the music. And that's kind of where the direction that I want to be in and I, am going in. The last thing I want is for people to know my name for something that has nothing to do with who I am.
Mm.
I want to set the precedent for the rest of my career. I don't want people to remember me from like a Kim Kardashian video, and then next thing you know, I go into clothing, but they're still talking about that video to this day.
Yeah, yeah. You don't
so
want that tape.
Yeah, exactly. And I still want to represent God in every way. So it's hard to do that when you're half naked in the public eye. It's really hard to do that.
At any point, did you want to quit?
Absolutely. I almost lost my passion for singing. I had slipped into a depression, and I was just not feeling like myself. I didn't even sing in the car. Wouldn't even sing in the shower. Like
you were rebelling against singing. Get really.
It was bad.
When was this, if I could ask? Because I can't see that from the outside. Like I never knew this period existed.
It was December 2018. It was December.
Well, that's kind of recent. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
What made you keep going? And if I could ask, what made you want to stop? And then what made you keep going?
I felt like when I left the collective, I felt like nobody understood me. I felt like I kept being put on the back burner. I felt like, I keep trying and trying and trying, and no one's really paying attention. I'm being overlooked. I'm always, things just weren't working out the way that I expected them to. But on top of that, I also was just heavily distracted. I used to be able to record like 2 songs in the studio, and then when I was at a time where music wasn't like my main focus as it used to be, I would go in the studio and only be able to record a verse at a time because my voice was just not where it should have been. And so it was in itself, and I kept having this doubt and just feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. And then
do you think
I had no team.
Do you think it was the doubt that was taking its toll on your talent at that time?
Absolutely. I could definitely agree to that. And just not feeling like myself, which caused me to not want to sing. It's like, what am I singing for? And then also, I never really had all the confidence in my songwriting. Like, I always felt like it was subpar. Like, me and songwriting have a love and hate relationship. I'm like, singing is my passion. And then when you ask me to songwrite, it's like, don't get me wrong, I love being in the process of songwriting, and I've written like 99% of all of my songs. I haven't had someone write a song for me and have me sing it. I was always within that process or writing with somebody, but I never felt confident enough. I always felt like music is to be created with multiple people. I never felt confident enough to do it by myself. So I was always comparing. I lived in a state of comparison for a long time, especially comparing myself to other artists, because I'm just like, they can write and record themselves and it still sounds good. And for me, I'm over here second guessing the first lyric I just wrote, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to revise that. I wasn't writing from my heart anymore. I was writing because I felt like this wouldn't have come out well, focusing on the outcome instead of the output. And so that kind of drove me to depression.
So what got you out of it now? Because you obviously bounced back. You're performing this weekend. I don't know if it's this weekend, but you got performances coming up. So you obviously worked through it. What was that? What helped you get through that?
Honestly, my mom had been going to this church in Pomona for like 4 or 5 years, and she had constantly started reaching out, trying to see if I, want to go to church. And oftentimes I would say no. Everybody loves to sleep in on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to go one day, and it kind of just resonated with me. And I felt like Satan had a lock on my life for as long as he was going to have it. Mm-hmm. And I decided to rededicate myself. So I started having Bible studies with my pastor every Friday. I started going to youth Bible studies on Wednesday nights. I was at church every Sunday for at least 4 hours. Sunday school, praise team. I literally just gave everything to him, and he provided that clarity, that peace, and that happiness that I was missing, and felt like I was good enough to continue. Like, I know that he didn't give me this voice just to not sing. Like, my purpose has to do with my voice, and I'm not going to limit myself to just being an artist or being in a cover band or doing voiceover commercials. Yeah. I want to do every area, category, aspect of singing that there can be, because I know that he gave it to me for a reason, and I'm on a mission to find out why.
You know what? I love that, because you said one word that I was going to touch on, but you said it before I could even touch on it, and that was clarity. It seemed like that moment, you found clarity, everything came back. And I want to, express to the audience how important that is, and how sometimes we lose that clarity trying to please others, trying to fit into a mold that isn't us, and trying to go a route that we're not even meant to go. Like you said, you had a vision, even if you didn't know that direct roadmap. You had a vision of what you thought your career was and what you wanted out of it. And you were starting to be pushed and kind of led astray and distracted, if you will, by other people's expectations, and that created clutter. And as soon as you found that clarity, as soon as you chose to find clarity, because sometimes you got to choose to find it first. You don't just get clear in the middle of some BS if you're not trying to get away from the BS. So
right. It's one thing to find your voice and another thing to use it. So.
Yeah. You got to find it and use it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was good that you found that clarity. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, so I want to end it on this. What advice do you have for folks that are, might be at that breaking point, might be at that point where they just don't see it being possible because, maybe because the music industry has changed, maybe because they have to do more on their own, they have to put in more work, because like you said, you have to be your own label now. But people don't understand that the great part of being your own label now is that you might not make as much money as being on a major label, but you'll make more of your own money. Like you can make $1 million with a label, but you didn't go home with $1 million. I'll tell you that. You can make $1 million on the streets, and you're going to go home with that whole million. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think that's what people have to understand, is that it's worth it. So what could you tell someone who's maybe a recording artist, maybe a singer, a rapper, or maybe even a producer who's just, is kind of getting frustrated, losing their way, and think that they can't make their definition of success come true? What advice would you have for them?
The one thing that I've learned, and I'm still learning, is to give yourself more grace. I think that everyone talks about life is too short, so you feel like you don't have the time, or you're running out of time because we're almost 30 years old, or you're 35 years old, and according to society, you're supposed to have it all together. But I literally am trying to practice giving myself more grace, and that every day is not going to be the same. There's some good days, some bad days, and I know as cliche as that sounds, it's literally true. Sometimes a bad day can last a whole week. I just had one like 2 weeks ago. So, but it's literally just continue to try, and every progress is progress, whether it's 1 step or 3 steps.
Man.
But just starting somewhere, even if, like, for me, I bought a piano like piano kit so I could start learning. And mind you, it's probably been like 8 months since I had it, and I probably only played it once or twice. And someone told me, even if you just take 10 minutes out of the day, just 10 minutes and start that habit. And I'm over here getting overwhelmed because I'm like, I need to sit here and I need to practice for 3 hours.
4 hours, yeah. 6 times a week. Or I'm not going to get anything out of it. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. And if I don't do it, then I feel like I'm not good. And it's like, I need to work hard. And it's like, no, you can sleep. Sleep is good. I want to remove that stigma from every creative possible and just, tell them to give themselves more grace. As long as you're growing, there's nothing wrong with that. But grow at your own pace and not what you expect that everybody else wants you to grow at. Or you see everybody else and you're like, oh, well, they're there and I'm not there. But that's not your life, So, yeah, I would say give yourself more grace because I'm still learning to do that.
Well, I love it, Tasha, and I'm pretty sure the audience has, gotten so much from you, and I have too, because like I said, I've learned more than I knew about you. You know what I'm saying? And I know that it wasn't easy, but I have a newfound level of respect for you, and I appreciate everything you said today.
Oh, well, I appreciate you for having me on this platform. I feel really special to be on this Life of a Boss podcast.
Well, you're a damn boss, Tiffany. That's why. So I'm glad, and I'm glad that other people get to see it too. Because, like I said, man, we inspire others by just doing what we do for ourselves and following our passion. And sometimes we don't see the value that we can bring to other people just by doing what we love to do. And that's what I wanted to share with everybody else is the value that you can bring to them just by doing what you've done already, and accomplishing what you've accomplished already. I'm proud of you, and I know there's a lot of other people, and I know the people that are proud of you that, in your circle. So, it's a special thing, and I appreciate everything that I've seen you do and that you have inspired me to do and pursue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You're inspiring yourself, okay? Entrepreneur, mentor, running for mayor, shoot, you doing it all.
Man, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Clothing line, your own magazine. There's literally nothing you can't do. You wear many hats and you wear them well.
Well, I just think we have to make the most of our time here. I'm not trying to leave nothing on the table. How they say it's like when I'm done with this life, when it's time to go, I want to gladly go. I want to get my bag and be strutting out this mug. You know what I'm saying? Like that one sister that retired from the Marines or something, the way she was strutting down that line. Yeah, when it's time for me to go, I'm going to be strutting, so don't be sad.
Absolutely.
But
going celebration.
Absolutely. But thank you, and I'm going to let you go, and I will circle back with you, and I definitely want you on the show again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was great.
No problem at all. Anyway, that was Tiffany Jackson, the sister of the amazing Tasha Jackson. She was here also. And I just want to let you guys know that, man, listen to her. Take small steps. Progress is just a bunch of small steps accumulated. That's all success is, man. That's why I say success is a lifestyle. It's not an end goal. It's not a win. It's not a victory. It's what you do every day. It's the progress you make constantly. Anyway, I love y'all. I'm gonna end it with that. Man, I love y'all. Check us out next week. Life of a Boss.
Did anything stand out to you in today's show? If so, let us know. Your questions, comments, and concerns are important to Jason, as he is determined to always deliver to you only the most impactful information and content. Until next time, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and leave a review whenever possible. You may visit lifeofaboss.net for more episodes and great resources to help you become the absolute boss that you were meant to be. You can also follow Jason on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hardin. Thank you. And never forget that success is a lifestyle.